Great TV show is a great villain to stir things up, and actor Ed Westwick is Chuck Bass on the hit show Gossip Girl, the guy that we all love to hate. And here's an exclusive look at the first episode of the much-anticipated second season of Gossip Girl.
This is the first time I've seen you look in the mirror all summer. Here, I thought if you did, you'd turn to stone. You must be pretty nervous about something if you're willing to kiss like this.
Oh, sis. I'm on my way out to Lily Pond. With the triplets returning to Rio, I thought I'd continue my tour of South America. I'm thinking Argentina.
The one with the flowers for. You wouldn't perhaps have overheard a recent phone call with a certain best friend of mine who mentioned she's on her way out here on the jitney.
What's a jitney?
If that's your way of saying no, then I'm glad to hear it. Because Blair will never forgive you for what you did to her.
Who told you that little piece of advice? Your boyfriend, Nate?
Nate didn't say anything.
Good. Because I don't think it's wise taking relationship advice from somebody in a fake relationship. Call me crazy.
All right, we are very happy to have him here with us. Good morning. All right, so lastly, Chuck is in a lot of trouble. In the season finale, you basically abandoned Blair at the airport, was flirting with Lydia Hearst, and so on and so on. So where is it going to pick up? I know, but tell me what you could tell us about what happened.
Yeah, well, he spent the summer contemplating his decision. And, you know, he's just been trying to work out, did he make the right decision? Is he really in love with her? And so it picks up with the guys in the Hamptons, and I think he's going to make her, he makes a go for it.
And he really does, because she comes back basically kissing another guy. And, you know, we're not used to Chuck being on the receiving end of getting his heart broken.
Definitely. And I mean, that's the kind of thing, you know, you have to see whether or not, even though he makes a push for it, whether or not it's actually going to work and happen.
And do you think, because, I mean, I've seen the first two episodes, so I have an advantage, but do you think he really is in love with her, or he's liking what he can't have right now?
I think that's something that's going to be worked out during the whole of the season. You know, I think the way he is, it's a will they, won't they, does he, doesn't he? And yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that I think he has to keep asking himself. You know, he's still a young guy. Does he truly love this girl? Is it just an infatuation, or is it just maybe a physical attraction?
Or two people that are kind of soulmates, since you're both not exactly the nicest, most sincere characters on the show, shall we say?
Well, it's like fighting fire with fire, so you never know what's going to happen.
So what else can we expect this season? I mean, from some of the other characters and storylines, once you guys do go back to school, because right now it starts with, you know, you summering in the Hamptons.
You know, I think a lot of kind of what was touched on in the first season is explored a lot more in depth. If I talk about my character to start with, besides the kind of Blair Chuck thing, the whole relationship with his family is a lot more exposed, and that goes to show how he's motivated. You know,
right.
You see there's times when you see him more vulnerable than ever, which is actually quite moving. And with the other characters, yeah, I mean, with Serena and Dan, you know, they're picking up from the kind of opposite kind of situation that you know, they broke up, and they're both trying to work out whether or not that's the right thing for them. And, of course, Nate has got this whole kind of whirlwind with his family. And everything.
An older woman.
And an older woman, yes. And
not
everything.
Bad. Not bad. Are you jealous that he's the one that gets to hook up with an older woman? You're dealing with the high school
Chuck Bass
girls?
has had his fair share of older women in his time, you know.
So how much like Chuck are you in real life? I mean, what similarity character traits do you have?
Do you know what? I'd like to say I'm nothing like him, you know, because I'd like to think I've been pretty good during my life, you know, pretty genuine, pretty honest. But you know, we can all be bad when we want to. I've said it before, you know, we're no stranger to the dark side sometimes.
So you've tapped into that before. All right, let's also talk about a movie that you've been doing. You're working on the movie, the sequel to Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Who's in that with you?
There's just a really great kind of young cast, Brianna Evergan, DeVay Chase, who was in the original Donnie Darko. And yeah, we shot it in Utah back in May, and it was a very picturesque kind of interesting film, actually.
Awesome. Well, things are going very well for you. It's great to see you. Have a great bank holiday going home to London. Yes, he's English, not American.